Boys and girls, as you know, I was inspired by this super cute book, Wow, Said the Owl, and I love that this sweet little owl explores her world and sees a lot of colors. I was inspired to make an owl project, and that's what we are going to make next. Now, this owl project has a lot of skills involved, and I know you can do it. We're going to practice tracing, we're going to practice cutting and gluing and ripping and tearing, which is kind of the fun part. So we might not finish today, but if we do, that'll be great. If we don't, we'll just work on it next time, because this owl is so cute. I can't wait to show you how to make it. You are going to need to start with a pencil, and we're going to be tracing things. That means we're going to put something down on a piece of paper and we're going to trace around it. It's going to give us the circle shapes for the eyeballs. Then we're going to use our scissors and cut out all those shapes. And there's something you need to know about scissors. We'll talk about that when we get there. A couple of the things might be something you can think of, like if you're walking with scissors, you need to always put the point down. That'll keep you safe. Also, when you're working with scissors, you would never want to hand a pair of scissors to somebody like this. If someone needs a pair of scissors, hand them the handle. That's why it's called the handle. So you can hand it to them like that. Like I said, we've got a lot of parts of this project, but I think it's super fun and worth it. So let me show you how we're going to do it. We're going to start with drawing an outline of the owl shape. Let me show you how to do that. You are going to use a pencil on either purple or blue paper, but so that you can see this easier, I'm going to start with a Sharpie. Your drawing does not have to be perfect. In fact, we're going to be covering up this shape with our paper. Sort of on the top part of your page, draw a circle and then 2 triangles. That's going to remind you where the top of those feathers that look like ears go. And then on the side, 2 little squares or rectangles. That's going to remind you that those sort of look like little wings. That's how we're going to get started. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to rip paper to cover up that shape. I'm going to give you 3 different colors of strips of paper so that it looks like we've got some different colors of feathers. And I start by ripping about 5 little pieces of paper at a time. I'm using my glue stick to put down just a little bit of glue to start with. And I'm going over those lines that I made for my body. I only rip about 5 at a time, and I only put down enough glue to get started. I don't want to put a lot of glue down because the glue could dry by the time I'm done ripping. So I rip a little bit and glue a little bit. And the easiest way to rip is one hand goes forward and one hand goes back, and it just pulls that paper apart. You can see I count about 5 at a time, and once I've got about 5 pieces of paper, then I glue it down. This is me going super fast, and I don't have to put all the colors together. You can see I overlapped some of the colors. For the little feathers that look sort of like ears, I cut them or tore them to sort of look like little triangles. So whew, that's a lot of tearing and pasting. You guys will probably get this done today, and we'll add the rest of our owl next time. It's time to make the eyeballs. We're going to trace around the top and the bottom of a cup to give us this circle shape for the eyeballs on our owl. I'm holding down the cup and then I'm tracing around it. I'm putting my pencil near the bottom and I'm pressing against it. And sometimes I have to cross my arms over and circle around. So now I've got 2 big circles. I'm going to use some black paper for the insides of the eyes. I'm going to use the bottom of the cup But the same thing, I'm going to carefully hold the cup down, don't press too hard, and I'm going to trace around the bottom of the cup for smaller parts of my eyes. Once I've got these traced, it's time to move on to my scissors. Now, when I use my scissors, I'm going to have one hand that does a lot of work, and I'm going to have one hand that doesn't do a lot. The hand that's holding the scissors, it hardly does any work at all. It just goes open and close. But look, the hand that's holding the paper, it's so busy. It's moving the paper around. The hand that is holding the scissors, all it has to do is open and close the scissors. Open and close. But look at that other hand. The hand that has my rainbow watch on it, it's doing all the work. It's telling the paper where to go. I did both circles on one big piece of paper, but it's easier to cut the circles if I cut the paper in half. Look at that lazy hand holding the scissors. It hardly does anything. It's just opening and closing the scissors. And then the other hand is doing all the work. It's telling the paper where to go. So we are going to have 4 circles for eyes. The black circles are going to get glued on top of the yellow circles, and then the yellow circles will get glued on top. Oh, isn't that cute? So let's do some gluing. We're going to just put a little bit of glue on that black circle, turn it over, press it down, a little bit of glue on the black circle, press it down, and then a lot of glue for that eyeball on the yellow and press it down. Super cute eyes. Now our little owl needs some legs. You will get 6 pieces of orange paper for legs. 2 long skinny pieces are the long legs, and then the claws, the talons, the feet of the owl are at the bottom. You can see me arranging it before I glue it down. And then the easiest way to glue these down is use the side of my glue stick to just make a line where I want my leg to go, and then 2 little lines on the side, sort of like a V shape for the claws. I sped this up to show you how I did both sides. Once we have the legs on, we're only missing one more thing on our cute little owl. Our owl needs a beak, and I'm going to give you a piece of triangle paper that's folded in half. All you need to do is put glue on one side and then glue that triangle down. I am really looking forward to seeing your finished owls.